We are signing different players. We're trying to find the right ingredient to make our team work for a full 9.5 months, not just the Stanley Cup playoffs. We have to get there first, and we're building it. And I'm sure that happens here every day as well with your human resource people and your management team. Everybody's important. Everybody has a role to play, and as soon as it gets weak at some length, nothing happens with our hockey club, and I'm sure that can be said the same here at HP, but we're proud to be here today. How are we going to win the Stanley Cup? Well, we've got to win, I guess we've got to win 8 more games than we did last year. We were proud of what we did last year. We had, like every year, we have a ton of pressure on our hockey club in that first round of playoffs, and this year Colorado gave us a scare, but it's something that we're accustomed to, we're used to it. We end up being one of the top seeded teams every year in the playoffs. It's a big target on your back, and the sporting world and the media world loves an underdog, so often you're not picked to succeed. We found a way to get by Colorado last year. We went on and played against one of our nemesis. Yeah, and you're right, Joe Pavelski was a big part of that, so was Devin Setoguchi. We went on to play against our nemesis in Detroit, and I thought that was a real growth moment for our organization to eliminate the Red Wings and to move on and play against Chicago. And that's the part of the playoffs that I'm looking back on, hoping that we can take a step forward. Obviously, the Chicago series, we went out 4-0. I don't think anybody in our organization, including their coaching staff and their organization as well, actually thought it would be a 4-0 or that it was a 4-0 series. It was very close. Unfortunately, we were on the short end of it. But we have some work to do. We think we're growing. We think we have a group that's still learning how to win and how to compete, and these two are a big part of it.
Each team has more experience now. Chicago won a cup, and you have all those players that have a Detroit looking to rebound. So that being said, I think we look at our team, and we didn't lose many guys. I think 5, and we're adding more pieces. So our team has that same experience and that same drive, and hopefully that's going to put us over the top this year.
Well, it's going to start kind of with what Pav said. It's all about experience and a learning curve. For myself, this will be my 3rd season going into the NHL, and in the first 3 years I've learned a lot from a lot of different players, starting with Jeremy Roenick, Cole Lemieux, Rob Blake, all those guys, and you see what it takes for them and what they go through, every game to prepare and mentally be engaged in the game. I was always taught that the game is 98% mental, 2% physical. So for myself, last year I had a couple injuries that mentally kind of could have drained me throughout the season, and now this is a year where, for myself and for the team, I want to play a bigger role and move forward and do the things that I did the year before. So for myself, it's a big year, and it's a big year for our team, and definitely we have all the pieces that we need to get to where we need to be. It starts next month during training camp, and it's a process that's going to build, and we move forward every day, and just got to learn from your experiences and learn from what we took in the playoffs last year and move forward and keep the attitude move forward.
Was a real steadying influence in the locker room and on the ice. So we have to find a way, not necessarily to replace him, but to fill a bit of his hole, and then everybody else has to pick up some of the slack. We feel that we have some young defensemen in our organization. Jason Demers is one of them that has spent 30 or 40 games with us now. We expect him to put a full year in. Derek Jocelyn, who played in Worcester, our minor league affiliate, can also come in and do the job. And as you mentioned, Doug is still out there sniffing around, looking at possible options that may still exist. But I do believe that growth has to come from within. We can't keep going outside the organization and chasing the next star and throwing money at them. We have a responsibility as an organization to develop some of our own draft picks, and that's where Jocelyn and Demers have to come in and perform. Mike Moore is another name that you may hear of, and there's a number of others that are in the minor league system that we think are close. It's a matter of what they do at training camp and how they fit in. we're a team just like HP. I keep going back to you because there's so many similarities between the two groups. You guys probably have your office here, or your plant, or whatever happens here, but I'm sure that you have satellite situations that are out there, and you try and maintain a steady dialect. You try and transfer ideas to and from, and we're doing the same thing from San Jose to Worcester. The situation in Worcester is a little bit different than it is here in San Jose. And I was lucky enough to experience that a bit in the American League as a head coach, but you have two forms of winning down there. You have to win by winning games and championships, that's your ultimate goal, but you also find a way to develop players for the parent club. And a lot of times those young players are put in situations so that they can experience success or failure. Some of them may not normally play in the power play if they got to San Jose, but they get a lot of power play time in Worcester. So the coaching staff and the management staff there has to be given a little bit of leeway to mold their team the way they see fit so that they can achieve both winning goals. Ultimately, when we talk about playing a certain system or playing like these guys would, we do sit down with the coaches, we give them our terminology, we give them our system, but we do give them that freedom to wander a little bit so that they can have the success that they need to have there.
It definitely helps. We go there, we played 7 games. I think we had, or 6 games, I forget what it was. But we had a couple days off in between, and that kind of intensity and excitement, especially being in Canada the way it's scrutinized, and you have to put yourself into every game, all out, and you definitely raise your game at times. If you didn't, you're going to get left behind. We came back, and I think we had 3 games before we had like a 5-6 day break, and when you came back, you definitely were drained somewhat mentally, and just when you left Vancouver, just with the whole Olympic experience, there was just a buzz, the energy went around the whole time. You came back, and it felt a little dull, but it was that's just what the Olympics is all about and what it brings. So you definitely take from it, and you learn, and it definitely made me a better player. You can't let up at any moment because if we score a couple more goals in the first game, it's a totally different series. And like you said, it's 1 or 2 bounces, and we saw it kind of happen in Detroit. We were pretty hot on the power play, and anytime they took a penalty, we were able to capitalize. And you can put teams down in a hurry. Whether you think it's 1 game, it's always important to win that first game and keep building off that.
Anything to add there, Devin? It's funny you say that about big bounces or a lucky break. At the same time, you've seen it with Navi versus Detroit. The first period, I think it was game 4, or no, game 3, sorry. And, Navi stopped a penalty shot. He stopped about 20 stops in the first period, kept us in the game, and that's a big part. Just getting that one bounce, that one big save, that one lucky bounce to get a breakaway to score is kind of can change the whole momentum of the game. Or, the one bad penalty that goes against you and they score on it. You got to be able to find, that extra mentality to forget about it and just play. So, bounces play a lot into it. But at the same time, it's like I said, back to the mental part, it's who can mentally overcome and just kind of forget about it and keep going.
Won't be one of these 2. After that, I think when we, obviously I expected to take a couple questions on the Navi situation. Navi gave us everything he absolutely had for a number of years. He was a big part of our Shark family and a big part of the community, and we wish him well. It's just the way business is, and I think we can all attest to that as well. We tied into HP that sometimes decisions have to be made that aren't popular. Sometimes they're business decisions, money decisions. Sometimes they're just ability decisions, and we have to make one, and Navi has to make one as well this year. And he moves on, and we wish him well. To fill his hole, we signed a Finnish goalie named Antero Niittymaki. And he's played in the National Hockey League for about 6 years now. Spent a lot of time in Philadelphia, a single season in Tampa last year. And we also talked about the Olympics earlier. The Olympics prior to this year, he was actually the MVP of it and led Finland to a very good showing there. So we think that he has the ability to come in and play. With that being said, we also have Thomas Gray. Thomas didn't get an opportunity to show his teammates, his coaching staff, or you as fans how strong he is as a goaltender last year. We rode Nappy. It was a decision that we made as a coaching staff and as an organization. But Thomas will get more of an opportunity this year to assume a bigger role. And quite frankly, it doesn't matter to me who plays in goal as long as we're competitive, as long as they're pulling their weight and doing what they can to win.
Part of the stretch last year, I probably wasn't very successful. And but it's just simplify. I mean, a lot of people know I'm pretty much shooting when I'm coming down, so it's just about hitting your spot and being prepared that way. And I guess going into it with an open mind about where you're going to shoot, nothing's really predetermined.